What's up, YouTube? Kedris here. This is my match preview for Nottingham Forest versus Leeds United. This match can be taking place at Elland Road on Friday, February 6th, which is tomorrow. And we got a lot to talk about. A lot of injuries, a lot of shuffling of the pack, a lot of guesses on what's going to happen with some of our players. Looking at the Leeds United injury list, which we're also going to go through, they're missing, I'd say, one or two key players, but it seems to me that most of them will be back. I expect a competitive match, and we have to wait for the score until the end. Let's get to it. As with all things in match previews, we start with injuries. Let's go. Anton Stats is going to be out for Leeds United. I think he's actually a very, very good midfielder for them, and I think that his loss is going to be felt a lot. I'm not quite sure what their starting lineup is going to be, but based on this prediction by FOTMob and SofaScore, great apps, by the way, and not sponsored, it seems to be it's going to be Gruev and Ampadu in the middle, Ampadu in the middle. Look at these two players. Ampadu is kind of like a bust up the midfield kind of guy, Yates type of player. He's not really that skilled on the ball, but he is really good at breaking up play. Gruev is interesting. He's got some creativity, but not much. A lot of it's going to come through their wingers, being Aronson, and obviously not Stutch because he's going to be out. But looking overall at the rest of their team, Gudmundsson, I highly rate him as a left back. I think it's somebody we should target in the summer to go after. If Luka Nets doesn't work out, more on him later. And they're back there since they've shifted from a 4-back to a 3-back system. They've been picking up points in the Premier League, and they've been really good at not trying to overskill. They're very direct. They get the ball up to Aronson. He dribbles and we get a cross into Calvert-Lewin to hopefully score. That seems to be their game plan. And I think that's going to be why this game is going to be more of a yo-yo match. I expect us to come out like we did against Crystal Palace and have the ball and have the advantage a lot. I know it's Elland Road. I know the crowd's going to be up for it. And it's kind of a rivalry, but not really. I think we will dominate. And I think we would have dominated Crystal Palace if we hadn't gone down to 10 men. I think that's going to carry over, especially with the kind of week off we've had with no game midweek. Moving on to the injuries for us. John Victor, out. Chris Wood, out. Savona, out. He got picked up a knee injury a while ago, and he's been out for the last couple matches. From what I hear, he's in the window to be approved, but it's one of those injuries where it could aggravate at the drop of a dime. So he could be out at any moment, which is why I think it was really important we went and got another fullback, although we sent Cubano out without even giving him a chance. But can't win them all. And I rate Luka Nets. I actually like him a lot. Matt Sells, Callum Hudson-Odoi, both 50% chance for injury. I'm going to go with the basis on building my lineup of them not being available. I just think it's too 50-50. Matt Sells, for me at least, you kind of have Ortega that came in. He can start right away. Callum Hudson-Odoi, can we please give opportunities to people who actually are on the wing, not Dominguez? I love Dominguez, but just we gotta be better, guys. We gotta be better. Can't have one winger on the pitch all the time. Moving on to our lineup. This has Gunn in goal. I think so. This is gonna be the start of my kind of self-diagnosis of Sean Dyche as a manager. And for me, the thing that Sean Dyche is continuity is a really big, important thing, and familiarity. So for me, at least, looking at the lineup, I think what we start with is going to be Angus Gunn. And I know a lot of people are going to say, oh, we have Ortega. He's Premier League quality. He's shown his mettle at Man City. I agree with you, man. 100%. But I got to think about this from the perspective of Sean Gingerhead Dyche. And Sean Gingerhead Dyche likes to go with players he's familiar with, that there's continuity with. And so who fits the bill between Ortega and Gunn in that regard? Gunn. So I think we're going to see him start. Ortega, I'm sorry, bro. You have to hold the bench. But I think you will get minutes after this match. Moving on to center back. Morato, Cunha, Murillo, Bali, Abbott, Milenkovic. some really decent options there. Murillo, Milinkovic have to start. They always have to start. Now, the really interesting part is, especially when we get to fullback, does Sean Dyche start Luca Netz at left back? Because I just talked about my philosophy about him, about his thing where he likes familiarity and continuity. So does Luca Netz play? Guys, I'm sorry. I don't think he plays. I don't think he plays. I think Luca Netz is gonna hold bench this match. But Aina will play. I think he plays on the right. And I think in a surprise rendition in the role, we see Murillo at left back. Yes, Murillo. He done a great job every time he's played there, to be honest. And, sticking with the Sean Dyche kind of paradigm, I think it makes sense. It really does. I think Murillo playing could make a lot of sense at left back. And I actually think him unleashed to go up the pitch without having to even think about recovering, it could get spicy. And I have no idea why I'm so happy. Maybe it's because I just ordered pizza. But I'm kind of getting into this, man. Forest is starting to pick up points, and I'm starting to pick up my attitude, I guess. Do not expect this to be the norm. Anyways, moving on to the midfield. Who is going to play but Anderson and Sangare? These two, especially since Sangare's come back from AFCON, have been excellent. No complaints whatsoever. Every time they've played together, they have bossed the park. And I expect them to fully do the same against, what's their names? Leeds United. So this is going to be a match where I think we have more possession, but it is going to be a little ping-pongy, kind of like how it was at the start of Crystal Palace before we really grabbed hold of the game. And then we went down to 10 men. It still hurts to think about. Moving on to the positions of contention. Does Dominguez start at the left wing position? Why are you even asking? Of course he does. Of course he does. What are you doing, Sangare? I don't need a duplicate. Get out of my screen. Anyways, Dominguez at the left wing. I don't. What do you even say? Nothing against Dominguez, but what do you even say? Moving on to the cam position, of course, Morgan Gibbs-White. He's going to play. Actually been pretty decent the last couple matches. I think he was good against Fenerbahce. I think he was good against Crystal Palace. I think he's really starting to come into his own, especially with the pressure that McAtee seems to be putting on him. I'm very appreciative of McAtee for applying that pressure. Thank God somebody is doing it. And he's been good since he's been tasked with that. Now, the real question becomes, and this is one of many questions, the first one having been who plays left back. Who plays that wing position on the right? Do we see McAtee? I don't think so. I think McAtee is going to be held in reserve specifically for European matches where the requirement for physicality is lower. So let me take a gander here, man. Let me look. That's a duplicate. We can ignore that. So I already took out McAtee. I don't expect Yates to start. We got way too many midfielders, bro. I do expect it to be a winger. I pulled up the winger position and immediately knew the answer. And I think we all did. When I pulled up the wingers, we all knew the answer. It's going to be fucking Ndoye. So, Ndoye's going to start. I mean, what can you really say? It's his love child. He now has an excuse to play him without any controversy. Ndoye starts on the right, people. I think that's what's happening. Honestly, it's probably his best position. Is he good? Is he good? I don't know. But it's his best position. Starting striker, I've seen a lot of debate for Lorenzo Luca to start up top over Igor Jesus. Listen, guys, we got a good thing going right now. This is a good relationship that we have right now between Igor Jesus and the rest of our team. And, Dyche doesn't want to mess that up. So the answer is obvious. It's going to be Igor Jesus. I've talked about it multiple times now. Continuity and familiarity. And there it is. And there it is, boys. Now, I did play with the idea of us playing a two-striker system and having like a 4-3-1-2. I really did think about it, but then I was like, man, Sean Dyche like changing formations and thinking about stuff. That's too much. That's too much. So with 4-2-3-1, we just replaced Callum Hudson-Odoi with Indoy, and we kept everything the same. Murillo, obviously, in there for Williams. But the bench, boys and girls, looks spicy. We got Ortega on the bench. We got Jair Cunha on the bench. Abbott on the bench. You know, actually, now that I think about it, is Jair Cunha going to be on the bench? Or will it be Bali? Has to be Cunha, right? Anyways, Nets, I think he will be on the bench. Midfielders, I think McAtee and Yates will be on the bench. I think I take back what I just said. Hutchinson is going to be on the bench. I don't think. Why does he hate Bakwa so much? Like, why does he hate the guy, man? Like, that comment he made after the match about people knocking on his door, I swear to God it was because he was talking about Bakwa. Bro has got a hard boner for this guy. I don't understand why. But yeah, it's unfortunate, really. So how many players is that? We had 9 players on the bench. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So good at these things sometimes. But if you just wanted a quick snapshot of who's injured and whatnot, there you go. Victor, Wood, Doy, Sells, Savona, all on the injury list. I made a timeout slide for Williams because you're in timeout, Williams. And left the club. Sad to see Louise go. I wish you the best of luck, bro. Just not when we play Aston Villa. Anyways, so that's my starting 11. That's my match preview. I think it's going to be a very tight match. And it's Friday night, baby. So we're going to have a good time. Get some pizza, get a drink, hit him up, watch the match. Bro, I am stumbling today. But I'm feeling it. I feel good about this. So you know what that means? We're going to lose.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Anyways, my final prediction on the score. 1-1. I think it's a draw. I think it's a 1-1 draw. I think it's going to go one of two ways. Actually, that's not true. See, the reason I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw is, one, because I'm really way in too good of a mood. So, of course, Forest, you got to do Forest things. So, we're not going to win. So, I take that off the board. And then the other options I was thinking of is a 2-0 loss to Leeds or a 1-1 draw. And I really don't want to lose. So, we're going to go with a draw. 1-1, guys. Heard it here first. Anyways, if you like the video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. I enjoy talking. I really do. And hey, tell me what you think the score is going to be. Am I being too much of a negative Nancy? I don't know. But hey, at the end of the day, the most important thing is always this. Come on, you Reds!